Observations with Robert Meyer Burnett.
Mad Villainy. Mad Villainy writes in, "Hi Rob, in the Post-Geek Singularity. I am a new listener and first-time writer. I'm writing to you today because I find the J.J. Abrams Star Trek trilogy oddly controversial, to put it mildly. As someone who did not grow up with Star Trek, I'm somewhat ashamed to admit that my first real introduction to the Star Trek universe was Abrams' 2009 film. I enjoyed it, and to be honest, I still do. I think, as most seem to, that Into Darkness was a bit of a misstep for the franchise, but Star Trek Beyond was a nice return to form. There is, however, a caveat to my enjoyment of these films. I hate them. I hate everything they represent on an intellectual level. Abrams and company fundamentally misunderstood virtually everything about Gene Roddenberry's vision. It's a disgrace. However, as I've previously stated, these movies are incredibly competent. They have an infectious cast, even if they don't seem to have any idea about the characters they're playing. So I pose the question to you, Mr. Burnett. What do you think?" Oh, I love you, man. I want to say, from this letter alone, Mad Villainy, welcome to the Post-Geek Singularity, and welcome to my channel. Our channel, I should say. Thank you very, very much. Are there any movies, books, or even albums you dislike on an intellectual level but can't help but enjoy? Thanks for reading this. I hope I haven't wasted too much of your time, and as it is the 15th of May at the time I'm writing this, happy birthday, Rob. Well, Mad Villainy, you, my friend, and I definitely park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay. I think exactly you summed it up, that Star Trek '09 was an enjoyable movie on certain levels, but I hate them too. And as you put it, I hate everything they represent on an intellectual level. Abrams and company fundamentally misunderstood virtually everything about Gene Roddenberry's vision, and it's a disgrace. God bless you, sir, for writing that. I agree. But the question that you asked about, is there anything that I dislike on an intellectual level but can't help but enjoy? I wouldn't say necessarily dislike, but I think that there's a lot of, I think when you're an imagination connoisseur, and there's a lot of things that I love, such as, the canon of Godzilla movies. The Showa era has wildly, the original Godzilla era that ends with 1974's terror of Mechagodzilla. If you watch kaiju films from the 50s up through 74, that Showa era, there's a lot of things that I'm embarrassed to admit. Like, I grew up watching Revenge of Godzilla, which is a terrible movie, and it recycles footage from Destroy All Monsters. It's terrible, but I grew up liking it because I watched it when I was a kid. And it's got stupid shit when Godzilla stomps on Miya's tail to make him finally blow atomic breath instead of his little boop 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 atomic smoke rings. And I still love those films. I even love watching the bad films. I know they're not good, but they're part of a continuum that I enjoy. Even James Bond movies, as I love James Bond movies, I'll watch A Diamonds Are Forever, and I'm just like, this is awful. But it's James Bond, so I'll go with it. So I don't know about books, because I've tended to only read books that I was predisposed to liking. So I've not actually, that isn't true. There is a book that I guess it's the reverse. Let's see. I have to find the name of it. I know the name of the writer. J.F. Gonzalez is the writer, and he is a horror writer. And gosh, I gotta see what the name of the book is that he wrote that I hated. Yeah, I forget. I just forget the name of it. But I just, it was so gross. I mean, it was just so offensive. And I don't get offended easily, but I read it, and when it was over, I hated reading it. Intellectually, I hated everything about it. But then when it was over, I'm like, I was entertained, even though it was horrific. So, I'll admit that. But I want to point out that Jeff Gonzalez has awards named after him, and I have a number of his books. He wrote a series called Clickers about killer crabs and stuff like that. So I don't know what that says about me. But I think all of us have things, call them guilty pleasures, call them what you want. But yeah, I can recognize, like you, Star Trek 09 is a very well-made movie, and the J.J. Abrams are movies, Star Trek films, are very technically proficient. But my God, they play the Beastie Boys at the end of Star Trek Beyond to destroy alien technology. I mean, it's the idea, like, literally, it's like, well, we played it too loud. Just the stupidest shit ever. I hate it. But I want to welcome you to the channel, and thank you for writing in.